Okay, lots more sunlight today. You can tell in a lot of places the fall colors are really coming in. And with that in mind, what did I read today? How about this first one, where apparently there was someone that shot down a drone that was actually doing work. We're still at that place, I guess, where a lot of people are paranoid about drones in general. This one says, Texas man charged with deadly assault after shooting roofing drone. A Texas man faces multiple charges after shooting a drone piloted by a roofing contractor hoping to capture marketing photos. So according to this anyways, apparently this company was filming a neighboring house. This says the guy used a shotgun and fired at, I guess, the drone operator's direction. Wow, that's crazy. It says an arrest affidavit states that multiple officers responded to the call and met the roofer. He said he was flying a drone to take marketing pictures for his business when he heard a loud bang. He saw a man standing at the edge of the driveway of an adjacent property holding a shotgun. The man yelled at the roofing contractor to stay off his property. When the shotgun-wielding man went into his home, the roofer found and reclaimed his drone. The drone was practically inoperable, including damage to the rotors, camera, and antenna. According to the affidavit, the roofer hadn't met the man before and hadn't gone onto his property. Officers spoke with the man identified as Jeffrey Allen Spencer, who provided a statement about firing the shotgun inside city limits and firing at the drone. And so with that, it says officers arrested Spencer on charges of deadly conduct, discharging a firearm, criminal mischief, use and discharge of a firearm in the city limits on certain property within the city. They also charged him with possession of drug paraphernalia. Well, I guess that explains why the guy's so paranoid, isn't it? And it's kind of interesting too, because they say here companies have some kind of procedure, I guess, in terms of trying to make sure people know what's going on if they're doing work, like tell them ahead of time and all that. But still, that's a thing where people, they see a drone, they think it's pointing directly at them, like the paranoia just goes up the roof. No pun intended. In general, it should be things like weaponized drones you should be worried about. And then how about this one? More news about underwater drones and extremely weaponized ones, I guess you could say. It says, Putin says Russia's nuclear-armed underwater drone was tested successfully. Russia has conducted a successful test of a new atomic-powered and nuclear-capable underwater drone, President Vladimir Putin said Wednesday, declaring that the new weapon can't be intercepted. Putin's statement, which comes 3 days after he praised a successful test of a nuclear-powered cruise missile, appears to be another message to US President Donald Trump that Russia is standing firm in its maximalist demands on Ukraine. Speaking at a meeting with soldiers wounded in Ukraine, Putin said the Poseidon drone was tested while running on nuclear power for the first time Tuesday, describing it as unmatched in speed and depth. He said the nuclear reactor that powers Poseidon is 100 times smaller than those on submarines, and the power of its nuclear warhead is significantly higher than that of our most advanced Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile. And it makes you think too, if that's true what he says, where it's not stoppable. Can you imagine if something went wrong, for example, like they tried to make this autonomous and they can't stop it themselves due to some kind of malfunction or something like that? And in terms of disasters, I was reading about this Hurricane Melissa going around in the world, where people actually use their drones to document the situation, which is an example, in my opinion, of using the tech in a good way. But in general, this thing went up to a Category 5 hurricane, and in certain parts, it says it went from 70 to 140 miles per hour over an 18-hour span. Can you imagine that, 140 miles per hour? Apparently in Jamaica, it inflicted a record-breaking destruction, particularly in the southwestern parishes like St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And as you would expect with these type of hurricanes, because of all the wind and water, a lot of structures were basically submerged underwater. It's going to take a while, I guess, for all this to actually settle down, huh? I think this sounds worse than that Katrina that I heard about before, the one that went around the US and all that too. But in terms of things going down, I guess this is more of those topics on how, because everything is in the quote cloud nowadays, if one company goes down, then it takes down so many businesses with it. Well, this one was apparently with Microsoft services, and it says Azure outage, Microsoft still working on fix, says recovery expected in several hours. It says Microsoft was hit with outages in its Azure Cloud 365 services on Wednesday hours before the company's scheduled earnings release. What a bad timing, huh? It says users on social media reported problems accessing their sites and services running on Microsoft products, and the company's websites, including its Xbox and investor relation pages, were down. The problems began around 11:40 a.m. ET according to Down Detector, which relies on user reports. And of course, it says they're trying to address the issue, but that just makes you think again, having all these convenient services, I guess, in the quote cloud again, when they go down, that's it. What are you going to do afterwards? I still prefer to have standalone software and all that whenever possible anyways. So many companies are just going cloud subscription based. They say it's more convenient, but I think ultimately it's just you can keep renewing people every single year. It's a guaranteed money overall versus buying a standalone product that'll last for maybe, let's just say, 5 years or more. Sometimes you don't even need to update until you get like a brand new computer and all that. All right, see you guys later.